The thing I like about the halter is, in cold weather in particular, it never gets hard like a leather one does. Even a well-maintained leather one, when they get stiffer. This is always soft, and of course the deer skin on the inside is just excellent because it doesn't leave lines all over his face. Of course, the round rings, as far as comfort is concerned, they're ideal. And from a safety point of view, I mean, you can see this guy isn't liable to panic anytime soon, but with the round rings, I like that idea. And this, as you noted when you come in the barn, the fluorescent really shows up.
Mm-hmm. So is he mostly out on pasture with the halter? Is he turnout, or does he come in at night?
He lives outdoors 7/24, and he doesn't. I don't leave the halter on him, but that's a preference thing. With this halter, I'd feel comfortable leaving it on him.
Okay.
But a standard leather halter, I wouldn't even consider it. And that's another thing I like about this halter. There are so many adjustment points. It's easy to adjust. I mean, you can adjust the nose band. Then you can adjust the head stall on both sides or one side, depending on how much adjustment you need. And then the throat back is also adjustable. And this to me is great. Like I say, I don't leave the halter on. So when you're going out to put them away, you don't have to fool with snaps. Particularly, again, I keep going back to the cold weather, but this is the time of year it is, and it's so easy to get it off him, and so he's happy with this halter on. It's just so easy to work with. That's what I find. So as I was saying before, I love the halter because of there's so many features about it that are different and innovative, and just make it easy to handle. And I think he likes it too. He hasn't said he likes it, but I'm sure he does.
But you don't want, a lot of them, you don't know their history, so you don't know whether they've ever pulled back on cross ties. So what I like about these halters, well, is their quick release. Like if something happens, if we get into an emergency situation, and they can give in a number of places, depending on how the horse pulls. So when you get a new horse and you're not exactly sure what they know, a lot of horses aren't used to being on cross ties. So, and you can keep the cross ties loose, and you can, be ready to let them go. But this halter, if they pull back to the point where you're unable to release quick enough, it will give. So it's kind of an extra safety feature. You're always careful when you're working with a new horse. This is the thing I really like about this halter, is being able to put a bridle on over top of the halter and then take the halter off out from underneath. Now this horse, whoever had her before, she has a bad habit of when you go to put the bridle on, she turns her head away, and she would walk away if you didn't hang on to her. Like she's already wanting to go, she turns like that and wants to leave. So it's really great because you can still hang on to her and put the bridle on. not going anywhere. You can drive along like that. And this is really good at a horse show too. Your horse never has to be loose. And then you can just take it apart and just take it right off. So, without any chance of your horse ever escaping, you know, and then you can just put it back together again.
So here we have the halter taken apart.
I think
And it's fairly easy to put back together again. You just take the nose band. There's 3 reflector pieces. You're just going to take the nose band, put the 2 rings together. You're going to take the cheek pieces, put the 2 rings together. And here's your crown piece. So you're going to start with your crown piece. You're going to put it through the hole. So now you've got your halter coming together. This is your throat latch. Comes into this ring. And then you have your nose band. And the nose band has to go through the bottom loop. And then into the ring. And we're all
The thing that
together.
I like about this halter is that because whatever I spend my money on, I want it to be worth it and to last a long time and for a variety of horses. So with a halter like this, I can put it on my 14-hand pony or I can put it on my 15-2 horse. So I like it that way because I just spend the money, but it also lasts and it's great that way. Thanks.
You can throw it in the washing machine to stay soft.
Yeah, and because Jag, he's gray and he always rubs, like he has a leather halter and it rubs the side of his face and leaves little marks. But with this, it's soft enough that it's not going to leave little marks. So whenever I have him in a halter class, there's not these little marks all over his face, which a traditional leather halter or nylon halter would leave. So this is why this is great. So we have a flashlight and we're going through the entire bush and about, I don't even know how far it was away, and we saw them with the reflector halters on because we had the flashlight. And if we hadn't have seen them, you know, flash the flashlight that way, we probably would be looking in the wrong direction, you know? So there's another safety feature that's really important.
Proper sizing, you should have 3 fingers away from the side of your horse's cheek. You should have 3 fingers as well up in the throat latch area. And 2 fingers below the prominent cheekbone, the bottom of the prominent cheekbone, 2 fingers down. And that'll fit your horse properly. Do good boy.
One of the things I really like about these O'Keefe Bay halters is that if the horse gets stuck or held up in trees, they break apart, and then you don't have to go and buy a new halter because it just flips out like this easily, and then there's no repairs.
And more than that, it doesn't hurt the horse.
And it doesn't hurt the horse. They're wonderful.
Sizing the halter on our horse. So she's going to take the crown piece, and as you can see there's a blank spot, and she's going to take it, because of the size of his jowls, to the longest point. She's going to the throat latch, and we'll loosen it up enough so she can get her hands in between her horse and the throat latch, giving him enough room, enough space, and then to the nose band. And adjusting again. It's important to note that you have adjustment on the far side on the crown piece so that the halter will fit evenly on the horse on both sides. And that should be your adjustment.